Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at another product from Unigear. These are Unigear trekking poles, so let's get right into it. Okay guys, so starting on the outside of the packaging, we do have some Unigear branding. There's not really any information about the product, it's mainly just literature about the company. So let's get inside of the stuff sack. The stuff sack is partly like a thick denier on the outside, and then on the back side it's this jersey type material. So I guess if these do get wet or covered in snow and whatnot and you want to store them, this bag is still going to be breathable and let a lot of that moisture and kind of water just drip out. So that is a little handy. It is a drawstring bag as well. And inside we do have 2 trekking poles and a lot of accessories to go with it. So I guess first off we can start with this bag of accessories. Now these are very common for a lot of trekking poles to have loads of different fitments and attachments. So I imagine these are going to be very similar to what you guys are used to. So first off we have these rubber feet, and these just fix right on the bottom of the trekking pole. Right now I have just a regular end on there. This pops off and you can fit another fitment. So this one presses on, just a little rubber foot. Presses on, making it easy to go across rocky terrain if you want that little bit of extra grip. It's kind of like a little sneaker, really. And then we have a small cup here. So this is for like mud, light snow, not anything really thick. And that just threads on. And then you can also put another cap on there. So if you're not traveling on ice, if you still are on mud and you just want that little bit of extra kind of protection, kind of like a snowshoe effect, or maybe you're going through really soft moss, this combination works. But if you are on slippery terrain, there is a carbide bit underneath of that, so that does dig into the ice. It also helps on rock as well. So we do have a small kind of snowshoe effect there. And then we have a large snowflake, which then threads on there again, and it threads all the way on. And that is for snow, and you can use these while you're skiing or pulling a pulk sled or whatnot. And these come off. They're very lightweight and they're all plastic, very bendable plastic. I'll say they're not brittle, they're not going to crack. And then like I said, you got the carbide bit, which I usually keep this cap on just to secure the carbide bit. So it does have one of each attachment for each trekking pole, so we'll set those off to the side. Very handy to have. And then we'll talk about the actual trekking poles themselves. So we do have 2, and they are collapsible. So this is really handy to basically have in your backpack for trekking and hiking and whatnot. If your section's on the trail where you don't need the trekking pole, they do collapse down, so you can store them in your backpack, store them in your vehicle, whatever, if you're driving to the trailhead or anything like that. Now, regular viewers probably know that I do not use trekking poles for hiking. The reason why I have them is I actually do use them for lightweight tent setups and tarps. So I usually just bring one. I don't usually bring 2, but just bringing one is excellent for setting up tarps and tents and helping with configurations in that sense. But they are collapsible. They're rather lightweight. We'll cover some of the specs in a little bit, showing how they go together. So let's start off here. Is they do have a cable running in there, and it looks like a piece of Dyneema cord. So it's very strong. And there's this outer plastic kind of sheathing which adds a lot of durability to it, so it's not going to break. It's also really rigid, so it helps it from basically not failing. And the way you connect these is you simply stretch it out like that, and this bottom section moves freely, and you basically line it up kind of like a tent pole, and then you bring it out and it clicks in. So there is a little press button right there. And when you want to collapse it, you just press that button in, slide that all the way up, and then each section comes apart, folding up. Very easy. So it's foolproof to set up, and I actually like it. It's quite a slick setup, especially bringing one pole for a tent. You can just set this up, extend it, and then pull. And you guys can hear that little click. Little spring-loaded guy there, little pin, and then you can extend it farther from there. And it does have the markings on the side, both in centimeters and inches, and then you lock it in wherever you want the desired length, and you have a trekking pole. So having a closer look at the assembly process here on the tabletop with the other trekking pole, I'm just going to line these sections up to where they need to go. And this is the part that I want to show, is this little pin that pops out right there. And then you simply press it back in, fold this guy all the way up, and then you can disconnect it. So again, just simply slide out. We have the Unigear branding there, some graphics on the side. Pull, click, and you're ready to go. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, some of the features there, I do want to talk about the handle portion of it. So it does have this latch here, and you can tighten this up and loosen it, much like a removable clamp to a seat post on a bicycle. This does come completely off, so if you do need to store this separately, or maybe you just want to bring the carbon fiber pull, because these are carbon fiber and 775 aluminum, you can then take this off and just bring the pull section, and it functions just the same. So if you just want to bring the pull section, of course the cord's going to come out, but you can just collapse it and basically pack it away just like that and bring the pull itself and then leave the handle home. But generally you would want to bring the handle. Reassembling that, you do need to hold on to that little knot and then extend it back, and you have a regular pull. So to touch on that again, these are carbon fiber 775 aluminum construction. The handle does come off. I found that really interesting with this, and it simply goes back on and then you just lock it in place. So the markings on the side, it does start at 48 inches and then it goes up to 50, 52, and 54 with markings in between. On the other side, it has centimeters starting at 120 centimeters, going to 125, 130, and 135 centimeters. The handles itself, they are very nice, kind of soft but very firm foam with a nice little pommel on the top to rest your hand. Now, like I said, I don't hike with trekking poles. I just use them for configurations for setting up ultralight tents and tarps. But I can imagine that these would be very comfortable hiking with them. It does have a wrist strap right here, which is actually padded on the inside. And it is quite comfortable, like holding onto it a few times, just kind of testing it out. It is very comfortable, and I can actually see how this would be beneficial for someone that uses trekking poles, hiking with it, or even pulling a pulk sled in the wintertime. This is very comfortable, and you're not going to drop it either. There is an additional strap on the pole, and this has Velcro. And basically, it's an adjuster, and you can basically collapse them and strap them into each other. So I'll show that really quickly right here. If we just collapse all these sections down, locking that in, collapse it all down like that, you can then take this Velcro piece and drag it over top of those sections, trying to move the strap out of the way, and then strap it down much like you would a cable tie for like extension cords or charge cables or whatnot that you have on your computer desk. And it just wraps around like that, and you can even include the strap, I guess, if you wanted to kind of tie everything in so nothing's flopping around. And of course you can move that down towards the middle so this isn't flopping around either. So it basically be bound right there where my finger is, making it a very streamlined package to take one or both in your pack or on the outside of your pack if you wish to. So covering a few specs, I do want to talk about a few more specs here, and I actually have the Amazon listing pulled up on my cell phone right now. Click that back in there. So coming into the listing here, I'm going to go through a few specs. It does state that it does have padded polar fleece on the strap. It is EVA foam up on the handle, so some of you may recognize the EVA foam. Carbide tip, which we already covered on the other end. Collapsible design we covered. Quick lever lock, which is aluminum, the 775 aluminum, as well as all the other collar pieces. So it is fairly lightweight. Talking about weight, it is saying 9.3 ounces per trekking pole. That does not include any of the attachments. That is the trekking pole with both wrist straps on there. 9.3 ounces, that's not bad. I mean, this is very, very light. I do have to say it is quite light. So carbon fiber, 775 aluminum. It measures 15 inches when collapsed. So when you collapse these trekking poles, you have a length of 15 inches from one end to the other. So right here to the table, 15 inches in length. And I want to say the girth is probably 2.5 inches possibly of that's it, 15 inches by 2.5 inches. And then coming down, it just kind of covers basic specs. Goes from adjustable from 15 inches and adjust to 54 inches long. So like I said, collapse to 15 inches, max 54 inches, 9.3 ounces each. Pretty decent product. The price, I do not see, I don't see the price. So I screenshotted the listing. I don't actually have service right now. So you have to check out the price for yourself. That is off of Amazon.ca. I'm sure the price will obviously be different on Amazon.com where it will be in American dollars. But as far as the trekking poles, I'm actually quite impressed with them. Like I said, I don't hike with them. I do use them for ultralight tent setups, and I do really enjoy how it actually has the markings on the side, and you can kind of lock that in and either put that on the ground or this end on the ground, and then set up your tent or your tarp configuration, and they're incredibly lightweight. I can't get over that. So this actually is worth carrying for me anyways in my backpack to set up an ultralight tent very quickly, as opposed to looking for a stick and then cutting it down to size. And this is just in the backpack. It's so much simpler. So another product from Unigear. I'm very happy with it. If you guys have any questions or comments, drop it down in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. Peace out, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.